Sunday Morning Live. I'm Hillary, and here is our host, John M.
Good morning. I haven't even looked at myself in the mirror yet, so I have no idea.
Looking good.
Be that as it may. Good morning. This is, of course, Sunday Morning Live, and I am John M., and I have a very, 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 very special guest with me this morning, whom I will tell you all about and let you meet in just a moment. But first, as is my wont, a song. They say forever is a long, long time, yeah, a high hill to climb. It's a well-known fact, you never come back from forever. You can't try it out for a while, you can't take it on trial. So you better be sure before you say you're forever. Nothing would please me more, forever with you. Well, forever has always been, no beginning and no end, and no one will ever know when they get to forever. You can't measure it by the day or by any other way. Some say when love is real, you're in love forever. I say I'll be in love forever with you. Forever can never be undone, never, not even by the bond. Whenever everything else is gone, forever will still be going on. It gets closer every year, but forever is never here. Am I making it clear? It's the final frontier, forever. It's beyond space and time. It's not yours and it's not mine. Ah, but you and I, we could watch it go by together. My, how the time would fly forever with you. Oh. There you go, forever. Thank you. That's from my solo acoustic live CD. No overdubs. And now, welcome with me, the one, the only Severin Browne. This is a real pleasure for me. Thanks for coming and doing
My
this.
pleasure. My pleasure.
You and I have crossed paths a few times over the years. We've done a few shows together and attended a couple of each other's shows and stuff. I think I first ran into you when I first moved to town back around 2000 at Kulak's Woodshed. Where you still have a monthly show there, first Fridays.
I do.
Severin Browne, which is a wonderful. I made the mistake once of booking a show for myself on the first Friday of a month somewhere else in the valley, and I was promoting it. You know, I was calling and sending out emails and stuff, and you know, people were getting back to me. Oh man, I'd really like to come and see that show, but I mean, it's first Friday. You know, it was like they might as well have been saying, you know, but my son is graduating from law school that night. You can't expect me to miss that.
That's funny.
So,
That's funny.
Yeah, no, that's a very established thing, and rightly so.
We have fun. We have fun, and I've been doing the first Friday show at Kulak since 2001.
Wow.
You know, the funny thing is, many people have said, "Why don't you ever have Ed Tree on your show?" Well, I looked back, and the very first show, the very first Friday show in 2001 had Ed Tree.
Wow. Well, there you go. Well, I am proud and honored to say that I have been a guest of yours twice, I believe. I'm
sure we'll do that again too.
Yeah, I hope so. It was a lot of fun. So what are you doing these days?
Last night I played with the Tall Men group. I did a house concert out in Claremont, which was just a lot of fun.
And the Tall Men Group, for in case there's somebody out here who's been living under a rock, is...
Well, no, the Tall Men Group is 6 singer-songwriters who play together as a band. And it's actually a pretty good band, and the idea of having a band with 6 songwriters, I would not advise doing that.
You each get to play less songs.
Oh, yeah. We've put out 4 albums, 4 CDs, and each CD only has 2 of my songs, but then it only has 2 of the other guys' songs, too.
Right.
Each. And I'll be probably doing some songs from those albums, because I haven't done a solo album since my last one was released in 2011, the very end of 2011. Wow. Or 2012. But January 2012 is when the Tall Men began. So that's kind of where my energy has been, not on my own stuff, really. Mm-hmm. My own recordings, my own writing, yes. Yeah, because the Tall Men Group are all about songwriting. But
you do still do the occasional solo gig.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine in any of your configurations, because people want to hear them, I imagine you occasionally have to do some of the older solo songs.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
And in fact, the first song that I'll do for you today was not really a Tall Men song. I wrote it, well, first of all, I should say that the Tall Men songs are all based on their prompts. Okay, so we get a prompt every month.
You
10
prompt
months
each other,
a year.
Or,
No. We'll have, like the first time we got together was January of 2012. And we said, okay, come back next month and since it's January, have a song about renewal or the new year, something like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, the next month we said, okay, the prompt is going to be a phone number. Okay, after that, it was a prompt about fear, or a prompt about, a natural disaster or something.
That's dangerous. You said a song about a phone number, and the first thing that popped into my mind, of course, was 8675309. But
I gotta tell you,
then it becomes, how do you get away from that?
Right.
But
I'll tell you,
you were telling a story.
You know what Ed Tree did for that prompt is there was this great old song. Who was it? Chuck Berry or something? Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
So he wrote a response to that.
Yes, I've heard that
called
song.
Marie, and we did it last night. Marie, he ain't gonna call.
Right.
Oh, it's such a good song. Good song.
Well, I'm afraid I cut you off. You were in the middle of saying something about the Tall Men Group, and
I talk about the Tall Men Group entirely too much, probably. I just love playing with those guys. And okay, I was going to say that we have prompts every month, and
oh, I know you were talking about the first song you're going to do this morning was a Tall Men Group that you hadn't initially written for them, but
well, yeah, it's not a Tall Men song because I was working really hard on a Tall Men song, on a prompt. And I got so frustrated with the lyrics that I pushed it aside, and all of a sudden I wrote this one. Yeah. And then I came back to the Tall Men song the next day and finished it. But
well, my curiosity is piqued now. Let's because I've had things like that happen.
Yeah. Well, this song I wrote was about a time in my life when I was playing a lot in the South Bay. I was playing a lot of bars and stuff. And it turns out that my father was in a home for Alzheimer's patients in Gardena, and it was right on the way. So I used to stop in and see my dad on my way to these bars. And so this is called On My Way to Play. On the way to destiny, the old man stops to look at me, then recalls some rendezvous. He's got important work to do. He picks up something from the floor, a memory or suddenly he forgets, like all our old duets. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay, I used to stop and see the dad that couldn't remember me, but I remembered him, the builder of my jungle gym. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay. Nurses say he's like all men, and sometimes he will flirt with them. Other times he is withdrawn, obviously almost gone. At first he smiled when he saw me and asked about the family. Now he doesn't know my name, but I can't say the same. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay, I used to stop and see the dad that couldn't remember me, but I remembered him, the builder of my jungle gym. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay. Now all night long I'd see his face on every drunken person in the place. I drank the drinks they bought for me, and my dad drank along for free. I owe my music to this man, the leader of my family clan. He loved his Dixieland and blues, Louis Armstrong, Ella too. His band rehearsed into the night. My mom said, close your eyes real tight, and sleep will find a way. I do that to this day. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay, I used to stop and see the dad that couldn't remember me, but I remembered him, the builder of my jungle gym. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay. On my way to play a bar in the South Bay.
Woo!
Beautiful.
Thank
One
you.
of my favorites of yours. I hope you didn't mind the little
No.
augmentation I threw in there.
You
but-
know, it's funny when I wrote that, because of what it was about, I never thought that it would be a sing-along. But when I play Kulaks, you know, I mean, the whole place sings along. It's incredible.
Well, they sing along on a lot of your songs,
yeah.
but which is a good thing.
It's a very good thing, yeah.
It's, you know, no, that's wonderful. So, well, I wasn't going to mention this early, but I'll go ahead and do it now because that song made me think of it. As I said before we went on camera, the sort of the elephant in the room is something that you rarely talk about. Is the fact that you do have a very famous brother in the singer-songwriter business, Jackson Browne, of course. And I don't want this interview to be about him. I want it to be about you. But I do need to ask you if it has it. I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, I assume one of the reasons you don't talk about him too much is because your music and his are very different. And you don't want people coming to your shows thinking, "Well, I'm going to hear Jackson Browne too."
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Does that ever enter into it, or am I just?
Well, you know,
often-
there's a lot of things going on there. Obviously, I don't mind talking about Jackson. I love him, you know, but his music and my music are not all that similar.
Right.
You know, when we started out, I mean, we were both teenagers in Orange County, and he was playing Dylan. He was playing Bob Dylan, and I was still playing surf music, and of course, and then the Beatles after that. So, and he appreciated the Beatles, but he was never a real Beatles fan like I was.
Yeah.
So he immediately went the lyrical route and became a great poet, great lyricist.
Mm-hmm.
I, on the other hand, became more involved with learning to write melodies and dissecting chords. And Antonio Carlos Jobim was one of my heroes. I just loved that Brazilian bossa nova thing.
Yeah, and I do hear a lot of that in your music. And
I still have that jazz. I'm trying to hold it down. I try to. People say, "What's with all the chords, Severin?" And I go, "I don't know." And obviously that song did not have a lot of wild chords, but I have been known.
Well,
to put those
that's actually what made me think of this, was because the guitar intro to that song. Was a little sort of Jackson-esque to me with the G and the C.
Exactly. It's when I first started playing it, it was like, I'm going to break into a Jackson song? I don't know.
Yeah. So, last question about him. Has there ever been any thought of the two of you doing anything together musically?
Well, I've sang on his records, and he sang on mine.
Oh, I did not realize that. Okay.
But in fact, one time, the very first time that he sang on one of my records, my record company was so, I don't know what their thing was. I was with Motown. I made an album from Motown. My first album had Jackson and J.D. Souther and Linda Ronstadt singing background.
Yeah.
And they called David Geffen's office, to get I guess the okay to put their names, and of course they never returned the call.
Oh.
And so that album went out without those names on it, which probably would have helped sales a little bit.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a little piece of history,
Huh. Well, I knew you had the Motown record.
Yeah.
And
I had a song called.
Weren't you the first? Either the first white or the first singer-songwriter or something? I thought I heard that somewhere.
Well, a lot of people said that.
Yeah.
But before I made my record, believe it or not, Bobby Darin was on Motown.
Wow.
Leslie Gore was on Motown, and Rare Earth.
Yeah, that I knew.
In fact, Rare Earth had their own label on Motown called the Rare Earth label.
Yeah.
In fact, they told me that was gonna. Yeah, they at one point they told me I was gonna be on Rare Earth. Another point they told me I was gonna have a label called Natural Resources, and the funny thing was they couldn't even pronounce it. This Motown lawyer said, "Yeah, you're gonna be on a label called Natural Resources." Okay. Yeah, it didn't happen. My stuff came out on Motown. So, yeah, well, that's history.
So how many records do you have now total between you and Tallman and Motown?
Oh wow. Okay, so there were 2 Motown CDs. There are 3 of my solo CDs since then. Wait a second. Edge of the World was on Moo Records, and then there are 2 more that were self-released, and then 4 from the Tallman Group.
And people can find these, I assume, online at severinbrowne.com or CD Baby or.
Well, that
some of the older ones probably are out of print, but
absolutely, they're all out of print.
Well, the Tallman Group certainly.
No. The Tallman Group you can find on CD Baby.
Yeah.
And all the usual places. And my 2 self-released ones you can find on CD Baby. But the one before the Moo Records one, that one I'm sorry to say is out of print. That one has Mo Betta and Leaving You, and it's got some of my songs that I still play now and then. but alas, it's not going to happen. And the two Motown ones, they were re-released on CD in Japan about 2001 or something like that, and then they disappeared really quickly. So you can still find those now and then, but they're pretty expensive.
So speaking of Japan, you're here in L.A., in the L.A. area, in the Valley and so forth. You're kind of royalty in the singer-songwriter community.
Well, I appreciate you saying that.
But what I'm leading to is I know that you do still tour periodically. I know I've run into you a couple times on the road at various conferences and different things. And I know you go up and down the coast and stuff. Do you have any tours coming up? That's part A. And part B, how far do you go now? Do you go overseas still to play? Or
a couple years ago, I went to Japan, but normally, no. Normally, I have not. Like, I still have not played in Europe, but I've.
Me either.
I've wanted to do that. I have
Me too.
cousins in Norway.
Let's do it.
I have cousins in Norway who really want me to come to Norway. So and then my brother had a place in Spain that he said I could visit anytime. But then I don't know if he still has that place or not. I know he's going there soon though. Let's see. I am going to in September. I'll be in Colorado. My girlfriend Lori McLean is traveling today between Lincoln, Nebraska, and Nashville, and in fact, she, I had not been able to introduce her to Jackson, so she was able to see Jackson perform last night in Lincoln.
Oh,
and and apparently it was a great show. She sent me this article written by an ex of hers, actually, saying that it was a great show. Jackson actually texted me this morning saying that it was a great show, and or yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know people are probably at this point. Are there people with us?
There are so many people.
I know
Marty Axlerod is actually here, and
hey, Marty.
John Zipper.
We're going to be talking about you in a minute.
John Zipper.
Zipper, cool.
Angelina and Gary and Marilyn
Great.
and Jimmy. These are people that come every week. So
welcome,
many friends
all
of
of you.
yours that I don't know.
Hi, everyone.
But
cool.
Lots of people.
Well, that's great
Well,
that you
I'm
can
sure-
see everybody.
And Deborah Presley Brando says, "Play."
Oh,
I'm glad you said that because I was just going to say I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who are thinking,
Yeah,
enough
what's
talk
he
already.
talking
Shut up
about?
and sing. So hit us with another
That's
one.
the basic sentiment at the moment.
okay.
Well, go for it.
Here's one from the second Tall Man record. It's called Out of My Window. I got a good view of the outskirts of town. From out of my window, I see patches of snow still left on the ground. But I can't feel the wind blow. I used to live for the thrill of the ride and the wind in my hair. The world goes on without me now. Out of my window, trees sway, cars move without me now. Out of my window. never wanted to hurt anyone, but living poor is nobody's fun. I just wanted to move up a little bit, move up a little bit, move up a little. The world goes on without me now. Out of my window, trees swing, cars without me now. Oh, the world goes on without me now. Out of my window, trees swing, cars without me now. Out of my window. Out of my window. Out of my window. All right.
Lots of thumbs up and hearts. You'll see it all later. It's fun when you first watch it. All that stuff comes out. Somebody requested Mo Better.
Well, I can just go ahead and do that if you want.
Yeah, go for
Why
it.
not?
It's a great song.
Somebody asked how I got the idea for this. I was driving down the freeway, and there was a motorcycle who passed me on the left, and on the back of his jacket it said something Mo Better, and I'm thinking Mo Better, Mo Better, Mo Better. And this is back in the 90s. I don't like what he say. He don't talk like he love you at all. He's a cloud on your day, who's just waiting to let loose his rainfall. But my love got no stormy weather. My love, ow, my love Mo Better. My love Mo Better. I saw him just yesterday, had his eyes on another Chiquita. He was scheming away with a friend on a slick way to meet her. But my love don't need outside women. My love, oh, my love Mo Better. My love Mo Better. Girl like you want good men who don't stomp on love he gets. Might feel so good, but that love could cause you big regrets. Yeah. And I don't like his eyes, or that look on his face as he sees you. He's a wolf in disguise who just wants you to think he will please you. But my love, keep you warm like a sweater, my love. Oh, my love Mo Better. My love Mo Better. My love Mo Better.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Cool.
That's That's a beautiful sounding Martin guitar too. You're making me. You know, I used to play Martins exclusively for years. I had a Martin 12 string, a Martin 6 string, and D12 20, and I swore that I would never want anything but a Martin. And then I discovered Taylor's, and I kind of switched. And I held on to the Martins for a long time, but I wasn't playing them, so I eventually got rid of them. And I have the Taylors now, but that's just gorgeous sounding.
I have to tell you, John, this is not a Martin.
It's not?
I've never owned a Martin.
Wow, now I feel like an idiot. Well, what is it?
Well,
it looked like
I
a
gotta tell
Martin
you,
headstock. But
back in the 70s, I had a decal, and I never put it on, but it said Steinway and Sons.
wow.
I was gonna put that up here. But this was made by David Russell Young in 1972, and I got it in 73.
Okay. Well, I take back what I said about Martins, but it's a beautiful guitar.
It is, and this guitar has been with me obviously since then. It's even been stolen once.
Really? And you got it back?
I got it back. I had to buy it back from eBay.
Yeah.
But I bought it back from somebody who bought it on eBay. But
Wow.
yeah, it's a long story. But yeah, and the headstock, this headstock snapped off 4 different times.
Wow.
And I had it. I paid way more to get this thing put back together than. I mean, I probably could have bought another guitar if I'd put all that money together.
Yeah. Well, I think you made the right choice because it's a gorgeous sound.
I love the guitar, yeah. And
So-
I traded a Les Paul. You were talking about Les Pauls earlier. I traded a Les Paul for the insides. There is a mic across the sound hole here, plus an ECM50 Sony condenser mic inside.
Wow.
That and it was going out through a stereo plug, which I don't use anymore. I just use this now.
Yeah.
This is a Sunrise
Yeah.
pickup.
So, I should ask, got any gigs coming up?
As a matter of fact, we're doing one together this coming Friday.
Yes, we are. And Marty Axlerod, who I know is watching, thank you for joining us, Marty, is going to be with you.
Marty and I playing together we're being billed as the Severin Brothers.
I love it.
Yeah, so the story behind that is the Tall Men group had a challenge to write an Everly Brothers song or something influenced by the Everlys in some way or another. And he and I both wrote songs, and I helped him with harmony on his, and he helped with harmony on mine. And then he started referring to me as his Severin brother. And then, long story short, that we got this gig in Hawaii, and we decided to bill ourselves as the Severin Brothers. Or that was his decision, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Marty's a great songwriter. He has my all-time favorite Cat song.
Oh yeah, he did that last night too.
Yeah?
At the Tall Men show.
Yeah.
It was great.
I hope he does it next week. But so next week, Friday night, the 29th, it'll be you and Marty and myself at the Coffee Gallery backstage in Altadena.
Yeah.
On North Lake Avenue. We're splitting the night, you guys and myself. So
Yeah.
so we each get to play for close to an hour, which will be fun. I was
wondering about that. So we're both going to do 45-minute sets, or
45, 50,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Great.
And which I love because we get as singer-songwriters in this area, because there's so many people doing it. We tend to get these things where you play 4 songs, which drives me crazy because you always end up playing your 4 safest songs.
Yeah,
and,
right.
So I love having a little more time where we can stretch a little bit. And I will be playing all songs that I'm not playing here today.
And I'll be sitting in the audience, so come sit with me.
Yeah,
I don't
Hillary's
want
going
to
to
be
be
lonely. I don't want to be lonely. So come on down.
So
yeah,
and
and
you guys
I want to say that Marty Axlerod is one of my favorite songwriters in the world, and I'm so proud to be with him. And we're gonna have fun. We're gonna do some really good songs, and I hope you can all come out and join us there at Coffee Gallery on Friday night.
Friday night, call now. Call early and make reservations because the show, between them and me, this show probably will sell out. So if you go to coffeegallery.com, There's a phone number there. I don't have it memorized. My apologies.
I'll put the flyer
we'll post
on
it,
the thread
in the comments. But yeah, call and make reservations, and so you can guarantee yourselves a great seat. Seating is limited there at the Coffee Gallery, and it's one of my favorite rooms in SoCal to play. It's nice sound and a nice intimate feel, and Bob Stane is great. So that's next Friday, and then of course nothing else could be as important as that. But do you have anything else coming up?
Let's see. There's a. I'm not sure of. I am so bad at promotion. I just don't even think about the dates that I have. I usually run by my calendar and then I say, "Oh, I've got a gig this week." Okay,
well, you can post anything coming up on the comments in this broadcast.
That's a good idea.
Because many of the people that are here will probably want to see you, and especially if they can't get in Friday night, they may want to come and see you some other time. Right, good. And the Tall Men group are playing in Oxnard at a house concert that we do for the last few years we've done it. This will be our fourth one, I think. And it's a great backyard venue. And
when is that?
That's going to be July 19th, I think. I'm not sure of the date. It's a Saturday. Okay. But I'll make sure and post it. Post the info if people want to come to that. And John Zipper just posted the Coffee Gallery phone number and hours. And thank you, John, so much.
John always watches out for me. He watches these shows and every once in a while I don't quite remember the address, and the next thing I know he's posted it. So,
thank you, John.
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
Marty says he can't wait for Friday.
Me either,
it's going to be a great show.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun.
Why don't you pull out one more? People tuned in because they want to hear you play. So,
okay.
So
let's see what. Tell you what. Here's one. Here's an old one.
Oh yeah.
This is from the 1996 CD that is unavailable everywhere. Shoot. I'm sorry, I'm just blowing this left and right. Sorry about that intro. I'm taking my pictures down from the wall, packing everything that I own. The souvenirs we bought on the pier. Leaving you's the hardest thing I've known. Leaving you's the hardest thing I've known. And who will be comforted by pieces of love? Shadows of the star that once shone. Not I, says the lone wolf who lives in my heart. Leaving you's the hardest thing I've known. Leaving you's the hardest thing I've known. Hold me once more, this one last time. Whisper my name, look up to the sky. This time tomorrow, in no time at all, there'll be one less star shining. It's fading, and here are your treasures confided in me. I cannot give them back, but they're not alone. They're here with the love that I can't let you see. Leaving you's the hardest thing I've known. Leaving you's the hardest thing I've known.
That's just gorgeous. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for coming and doing this.
My pleasure.
This has been a lot of fun for me. And I am looking forward to Friday.
Yeah.
And I have to say, because you mentioned earlier when we were talking about Jackson, you said, well, he kind of went the lyric route. He was into Dylan and all that, and I went more of the musical. Mm-hmm. You're no slouch for writing lyrics, my friend.
Well, thank you.
You know, Jackson's got nothing on you in the lyric department.
I don't know. About that.
And I mean, we've talked about it. I'm a huge Jackson Browne fan, but you and I've seen you a bunch of times on stage with bands and with the PA and the lights and all that. And I've also seen you a few times just kind of unplugged like this, mm-hmm. and in some of those silly hotel room things that we do at the conferences, you know. Right. It's just, just this. And I feel like you kind of excel in this format. You kind of, there's a, I don't know, you exude a feeling and an emotion and just a purity of the songs that's
thank you.
Really almost overwhelming to me. So,
wow, thank you.
I really appreciate it. Is there anything? Dan rather often ends a lot of his interviews this way, and I think it's cool. Is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't? Anything you wanted to mention? No, I'm a happy camper. Cool. Well, I'm going to squeeze in one more song.
Thank you all so much, and let's hear this one last song from John.
And then you're going to have a lot of fun going through the comments and seeing what people said. And you can respond to them later.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, one of these days we're going to have we did this once. We had someone who was able to sit in and do this with us. We want to get somebody who can sort of do the social media end of this as we're doing the shows. Mm-hmm. It's live. Somebody can sit here, and when people comment and ask questions and stuff on Facebook, they can respond to them without us having to stop. And because we really, really, really do appreciate you guys being here. I wasn't going to do this song this morning. I thought about it, and I thought, no, it hasn't been that long since I played it. But the song you just did reminded me of it. This is kind of the simpler, more basic, less evolved version of the same subject matter, kind of, as what you just did. And I have a very vivid memory that I treasure of way back a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more. You and I and like a zillion other people did this folktacular thing that Robert Morgan Fisher did.
Oh yeah, sure.
And this big room, and an audience and partitions up and food on the other side of the partitions. And I played this song, and you made a point of walking out when I was done from behind the partition and giving me one of those. And I thought, oh man, Severin likes this song. This must be a keeper. So I appreciate that it has stuck with me.
Oh, great.
And this is on my current CD, and I'm gonna end with this. I hope you like it. I love you by night, I love you by day, I love you, I love you, I love you, I say, but I love you won't get us the rest of the way. Farewell, I love you, amen. Oh, my traveling companion, that's what you told me, and that's how it's been. Farewell, I love you, amen. I'm not saying that I'll never see you, or that we won't still laugh like we do. I'm not saying it's over, it just has to change. It won't die, but it can't stay the same. Oh, now you eat at my table and you sleep in my bed, and yet weeks go by, barely a sentence is said. Ah, but words must be spoken, tears must be shed. Farewell, I love you, amen. Farewell, I love you, amen. Oh, farewell, I love you, amen.
Oh, yeah.
A short one. Thank you.
Nice.
Thanks. So, once again, my thanks to all of you. As I always say, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. Thank you especially for sharing. I know a lot of you do, and we appreciate it. It helps this thing grow. It helps attract more viewers, which is what we want. We appreciate an awful lot of you come back week after week, and I can't tell you that really it really does something to my heart. So thank you for coming back and for joining us every week as you do. Continue to tell your friends about us. My thanks especially to Severin Browne for coming and joining us this morning. This has been a real pleasure for me.
It's been a real pleasure for me
too,
John.
And come and see us with Marty Axlerod on Friday night at Coffee Gallery Backstage. Make your reservations soon. Hillary, I haven't talked to you much this morning. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks everybody for showing up. Thank you, Severin, for your music. And
Thank you.
Showing up early on a Sunday morning, and I hope to sit with many of you at the show on Friday night. And in the meantime, have a great week.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.